What's up, guys? Welcome to another Fuse Daily Devo. This is Friday, so it's a student edition. Brad here, and I've got friends Wade Butler and Joshwin Thomas with us. So if you guys want to go say hi real quick, you have to
So,
say hello. Yes, to actually get your video on the screen.
Yeah.
hey,
I'm Wade. Just chilling. Quarantine time.
Wade, what school do you go to? What grade are you in? What do you do in your free time?
Go to Fort Zumal East. I'm a freshman. Let's see. I like to bike ride. I do a lot of biking.
Nice. Joshwin, what about you? What school do you go to? What grade are you in? What do you do in your free time?
I'm a freshman at Francis Howell. And in my free time, I like to play video games or play sports with them or just hang out with friends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you guys want to give a shout out to? Small group leader, friends at Fuse.
Kevin
Shouts out
Finnegan.
Kevin, yes sir.
Yeah, you guys are in Kevin's group, and my brother
Right.
Craig, Jared
Yep.
Johnson has been
Yep.
has been with you too. So you guys have a good
Right.
crew. Somehow you guys have lucked into having the warehouse space as your small group
Yeah.
spot for the last couple of
Mhm.
years. Anyway, well, hey, we are. Before we jump into the Devo, just wanted to ask, how has life been? It's been 6 or 7 weeks now. Yeah, what are you doing? What's your day to day look like? What are you hoping for over the next couple weeks? Joshman, we'll start with you, man.
Quarantine, obviously it's not been ideal, but we're getting through it. There's some good things you can take away as far as just relaxing and getting away from day-to-day life. That can get really obviously stressful. But I've just been getting schoolwork done, just after that, just relaxing. That's all it's really been for me.
Cool. Wade, how about you, man? What's the last few weeks looked like, and what do you think the next couple are going to look like for you?
Well, my parents have done a great thing for me, but I don't like it. They're making us get up at 8:30 in the morning, and we start school at 9, so that way we can have like
Ooh,
a routine in the day. And it's good because it gets us all going, and we finish the day out strong. But it's a struggle.
yeah,
So it's like summer with homework.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that is kind of how it's been. Yeah.
Josh, when I heard I was talking to your mom a few weeks ago, and she said that you had this like master plan to try to get all your homework done in the first like couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about doing that, like just finish everything on, because they post it weekly for us. So I was thinking just get everything done Monday, and I could just play video games the whole rest of the week. But that didn't really work out too well.
It's probably a good strategy for like a week or two, but then once it hits like
Yeah,
2 months, it's
no,
like this isn't sustainable.
yeah, no.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, we started a new series kind of last week. It was an intro week. This week, though, called Big Picture. We're going to be looking at the life of Joseph. One of the things that I like about this whole reading plan is that we're taking this Old Testament story of this guy and his family relationships and then his future career and going to Egypt. We're taking that story, but we're also looking at some New Testament passages. And so things that he was wrestling with or learning or experiencing, and then how does that get fleshed out for us as believers today with some of the things that maybe Paul writes in the New Testament. So our verse today is from Ephesians chapter 6. It's verse 7, but I'm going to kind of back up a little bit and read 5 and go all the way through 8. And what's happening in this passage is he's casting a radically new vision for the family unit. So saying, hey, listen, in your families, live this way. And so he starts in chapter 5 by talking, hey, husbands and wives, treat each other like this. And then beginning of 6, he says, okay, children and parents, this is how you should behave. And then he moves on to this thing that we don't really have in our culture, this idea of bondservants and masters. The closest thing would be probably like bosses and employers or teachers and students. And he's kind of really just casting a new vision for, hey, how do we behave and interact within these like realms of authority and these relationships where we don't really get to choose the relationship, but God still has something for us there. And so Paul writes in verse 5, "Bondservants, obey your earthly masters with fear and trembling, with a sincere heart, as you would Christ, not by the way of eye service as people pleasers, but as bondservants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, rendering service with a good will as to the Lord and not to man, knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from the Lord, whether he is a bondservant or is free. Masters, do the same to them and stop your threatening, knowing that he who is both the master and yours in heaven, that there is no partiality with him." And so the verse we're really focusing on is verse 7, rendering service, do service, serve others with a good will as to the Lord and not to man. So I just wanted to open it up to you guys. What sticks out to you? Maybe what is something that you've learned about serving others or treating others during this time? Wade, we'll throw it to you first, man.
Yeah, so for me, I think growing up in the church, serving was one of those things that was very common. And it's highly encouraged to just jump in and do whatever you want. But that was, it was really hard for me to get started, I think, because I was shy, but not so much shy as I was nervous, I think, to just go and interact with all these different people at the same time and do one goal. And I think that was just hard for me. So looking back on that, I think it was good that I had people behind me to just push me along through that and just say, here you go, this is what you're doing, it's going to happen. I just think that was a big encourager in the midst of it.
That's cool, man. I never would have known that just by like watching you serve, right? It seems like you have a real passion for that, a real interest. It seems like it's a real natural fit for you. So it's kind of cool to kind of maybe peek behind the curtain a little bit. And that is something that's hard, right? Like we can have the best intentions in the world or even know that, hey, serving others is important. But but there's all these other factors that maybe make that difficult at times. Attitude or even just intimidation is maybe one of them. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. What about you, Joshwin? Just when you read this verse or hear this verse, thinking about serving, like what sticks out to you?
So I was thinking, I think it was verse 5. It says in my Bible, it says with sincerity of heart when they're talking about serving. I think in yours it said, and not as people pleasers. So one thing, like, I think Wade can also relate to this too. Like, we've been given a lot of opportunities to serve, and I think sometimes it can get more just a way to do it, or almost in a way for reputation, just to kind of, serve just to look good in some ways. I think, one thing that I think I've kind of come along to is that, in serving, it's truly doing it for the Lord and not for your own self gain sometimes, because that can be the case. And I think in most instances, and I'd say for me, all of them, at the end of the day, serving does help you in the way. It makes you a better person. And I've experienced that firsthand. So that's kind of what stuck out to me here was doing that, serving for the Lord and not completely for self gain.
That's great. Yeah, motivation, right? What's your motivation for serving, right? And that, like, it can go both ways. You can be motivated by, oh, this will make me look good for other people, or this will make me look good for the Lord. And there's even some self-serving in both of those kind of instances. But like, if it's for God, it doesn't matter who you're serving, right? Like you could serve your brother or your sister. You could serve someone at the church whose name you don't even know. You could serve somebody in the community that you're never going to meet again. Or you can serve someone who makes it maybe really difficult to serve. Like if you think about like a teacher, if you think about a parent, sometimes if you think about like all these people that like maybe come to mind that you're like, oh, I don't really like, it's hard to serve them. I don't really want to serve them. But maybe that shift in attitude of motivation. Okay, well, hey, I'm not really actually serving them. I mean, I am serving them, but I'm really serving Jesus, right? Like that's and with him, there's no status difference, right? There's no partiality is what it says there in verse 9. Well, cool. Anything else stick out to either of you guys before we wrap this up?
Just looking at verse 4, in mine it says, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children." I think maybe show that to my parents there.
Oh, yeah. No, that is something that I like. for me, it's real relevant. Like I've got 2 little kids, and Bryn is almost 10 months, and so she's just cute and adorable, and like I would never do anything to bother her. James he's such a joy, but like I have to just be so careful all the time to like I don't want to like squelch his like spirit because he's just happy. He's a happy little guy. Yet this whole thing over the last month and a half, 2 months working from home, it's like I feel bad because I'm trying to work, but then he comes up and wants to play, but I don't want to like kill his joy. But at the same time, I got work to do, and it's just this like it's difficult, right? I know you brought that up as kind of as a joke a little bit, but no, it is like
right, yeah.
And I don't know. I just think too when it comes to the church, when it comes to our families, like God wants us to have just like a radically different vision for how we do relationships because of Jesus. And yeah, it's hard. It's real hard. Cool. All right. Well, any other farewell words to your Fuse family, and then we'll end it.
Almost done with the quarantine. Just continue to get through it.
Yeah.
Yes. Summer is coming, hopefully.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you.